One of the things that's different about rough and tumble is that strikes are grabs and grabs are strikes. So what I mean by that is that typically in most grappling schools, when you take a top wrist lock, let's say for example, then it would just be a grab and you would grab it and then you would execute that. But around here in rough and tumble, we slap things on. So we slap and we hit, we move violently. But you really can't do that against your friends. So you need something to be able to go at it in a rough and tumble manner. So, and again, instead of going nice and slow like you do when you're dealing with your friends to avoid injury, you can come to your war post, slap it on, and then hit it. You can bang, bang, and then move into your position. Hey, rough and tumblers, Father Mitch here. Excuse me for being kind of underdressed today. I'm fixing to do some chores around the house here. So I want to take you on a tour of the war posts and show you some relatively advanced war post training. Now, this is the war post that I use for unarmed training. This is an 8-inch cedar post wrapped with sisal rope below the chin. I strike the throat. That's all I aim for, throat and neck pretty much. You can't hit people in the face with your fist. It breaks your hand. This is wrapped, and this is for shins. You'll see over here that I have this is an 1.25 inch hickory stick, and it's starting to split and they wear out. This is sisal rope, and as you can see, I've got nails driven in this to keep the thing in place. Here you have a screw hook that's an eye hook rather into the hickory stick, and then you have a screw hook. It's hanging here, and this rope just keeps it from flying off and adds a little bit of friction so it doesn't swing too freely. Here's a close-up of one of the fencing nails I used to hold the rope in place. Okay. Now I have another one that I use for weapons. So you need to have one for weapons and one for hands. So I'll take you over here and I'll show you this one. This is the forging post that I use for weaponry, knives and tomahawks. There's a stub in the ground there, and I've got it attached with a buckle, slip buckle. At the top I've got a come along strap here. This is ancillary. This is just from a previous project. You can remove that. No screws into the tree. Protect your trees. Okay, what's this thing for? Well, you can't learn to fight in a vacuum. And there's certain techniques that if you do them full force against your friends and training partners, they're going to get injured. And that's not nice. So you want to be able to beat the snot out of something that's not a human being. That's why we have heavy bags. And this is actually something that's going to toughen your body. The idea is to build up some calluses and to be able to do things a little more forcefully. Now, what can you do with this? Well, you can practice your punches, knuckle punches against the throat of the target. You can practice your palms with a little bit of realism against a hard surface. You can get in here with your elbows and strike against that chin. Now, the elbow is doesn't really like that all that much, so you have to condition your body to be able to take those shots. It's also good to condition your forearms and put some friction against that thing and practice your crams against a hard surface. Is this harder than a human body? Definitely. But if you can strike this and grind on this, when you get into an actual confrontation, and we hope we don't, but if we do, then you want to make sure that when you put your forearm against him, you know, the old expression is cry in the training hall and laugh on the battlefield. You can practice your grinding against the arms. You can practice your overhook crank, so when you get your arm over, your overhook crank with force. You can practice your whizzers. If you do a whizzer like that against a human being, they're not going to appreciate getting their shoulder dislocated. So you can practice all these techniques against the target. One of my things I like to do is I like to get in here and practice my forearms. I practice hit the arm, come over the top to my top wrist lock. Same thing on this side. Hit the arm, come over the top to my double wrist lock. And then the fun part is, of course, that it's a right-handed attacker on this side, and it's a left-handed attacker on this side. You'll notice that there's a little scrap of chain. I don't know if you saw it. There's a little scrap of chain on this, and this is for me to move around so I can adjust the angle of the arm. I kind of like it hanging at pretty much level, but I can move the chain around and I can make the arm go up or make the arm go down as I see fit. You might think that your hands are pretty tough, but when you get to hitting this thing and you find out that you hit a little ridge the same way you might hit a cheekbone or a chin, then you find out that your hands might not be as tough as you think they are. So it's good to have that. And then one of the techniques that you just can't practice on a person at all is a chin jab. So your chin jab, you can hit him pretty much as hard as you want. This is just a slice of log that I've carved roughly to resemble a face. I've rounded off the chin and taken a slice off the back so it fits nice in here, and I've got some big screws that run through the post. So I encourage you to get busy with this thing. You can practice your cuffing maneuvers, all those strikes, all your grinding maneuvers, all this stuff against the thing. Now you come down here, and you want to expose your shins, and then you want to get in and you want to practice your kicks. Now I've got this wrapped at knee height. Now for obvious reasons I have this wrapped at knee height. That's about the height that I want to kick. Again, you can't kick your buddies in the knees. It's not a good idea. They're going to get hurt and they're not going to want to train with you again. Make sure you do both sides. Start off slow. Don't try to build Rome in a day. You'll break your hands up. Now eventually you'll get tough enough to where you can actually do some back fists against the face, but you're never going to get to where you can full on knuckle punch this head. Your hand will break the same way it's going to break if you hit a person. The most you can hope for is a back fist to the face, and those are typically done in this fashion. And you can maybe build your way up to a few of those. Mainly the good thing is the cuffing. So when you get in here, practicing those cuffs, bang bang against this arm, the same way you would against a real arm. Boom boom, boom boom boom. Right. So getting in here, hit hit hit, and then go to your grappling maneuver. All right. So what's this for? Well, this is for your knives. Hey, if you're enjoying this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And browse to heritageartsinc.com and check out our free Rough and Tumble distance learning program and make a donation. We are a 501c nonprofit educational charity. It's amazing to me to think that people will take rubber weapons and stand in the middle of the room and swing at the air and imagine that they know how to fight with a weapon. It's just not true. It's important to remember that command and mastery of a weapon exists independent of the particular skill. Now, what does that mean? Command and mastery is independent of the specific skill. So what I mean by that is the following. Once a surgeon has command and mastery of the scalpel, then the surgeon can do whatever she wants to do. She can dissect a frog, she can autopsy a corpse, or she can save your life. Once a carpenter has command and mastery of the hammer, then he can build whatever he wants. He can hang a picture, he can build a shelf. All he has to do is learn the particular skills, but he must first learn how to use the hammer. So what goes into learning how to use a hammer? Well, you have to learn how to hit the nail squarely, how not to hit your thumb, how not to pull it back and hit yourself in the face, how to not pull it back and hit your friend or break a window, how to not drop it on your foot, how to retain the grip on it when you swing it or move it around, all of those things. So, in order to be able to claim that you know how to use a weapon, you need to have command and mastery with the weapon. That's what the forging post is for. So, you need to get your weapon of choice, whatever that may be. If it's your everyday carry, it's a tomahawk, whatever the weapon is you claim that you want to be able to use, then you need to get in here and you need to actually attack a physical object. Grip is more difficult than you think. Your wrist is not as strong as you think it is. All these things. And you need to get in here and actually attack. Now you'll notice that you see wood flying off of this thing. Make sure that you wear safety goggles and maybe start off wearing gloves. Oh look, there's a chunk of wood stuck to the end. Maybe a pair of gloves, and just in case you slide up, you don't want to cut your hand, or in case you miscalculate and hit your knuckles against the post. That's part of command and mastery. Once you've gotten comfortable with it and you've been doing it for a few years, then you can maybe not use the glove, but you need to, I wear eyeglasses so I'm reasonably covered. So just in case you slip, and certainly if you have someone nearby, everyone needs to have eye protection on, and everyone needs to stay well back from the forging post. If someone takes a tomahawk and it slips out of their hand or something, that's bad. The penalty for losing your grip on your weapon during a training session is 25 proper push-ups. Don't lose control of your weapon, ever. That's what the forging post is for. Now we'll notice what I'll do is I'll wear it out when it gets thin. I'll let it get just a tad thinner, and then I'll take it out and I'll flip it over. That puts the roughest part at the bottom, and then gives me a fresh top. I don't attack legs. Generally speaking, with knives and tomahawks, we attack face, throat, solar plexus, clavicle, all these points from the top of the head to the solar plexus and from the shoulder points within, inside that diamond. So when it comes to command and mastery of weapons, the place to start is with a war post. And when it comes to conditioning your body for rough contact and to practicing full power techniques, then a war post like the one that you saw earlier with the articulated arm is a great place to begin. Credit where credit's due. I was first introduced to the idea of war post training by the great Hockheim. His original War Post DVD and Weapon X program is probably my favorite weapon DVD that I've ever seen. It's a great basic training program. Now I've expanded on that quite a bit, but that's where I started, and so I love his terminology, and so that's where I was first introduced to the term war post and first introduced to the term command and mastery. And I think Hock was dead on both of those subjects. Thanks to you, Hock. Anyway, I appreciate you watching. Take care and God bless.